Hi, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Tech Exec Podcast, where I help you create teams worth leading. As always, I'm your host, Ben-Yosef, advisor and consultant to tech execs worldwide. And our subject today is, drum roll please, I was actually torn between two different titles. And if you're watching the video version, you can see I'm holding a bunch of straws. Yeah, reusable straws. We're big on reusable straws here at home. And as you can see, I've got all these straws and I'm going to get rid of them. But how about this? I've got a single one here. That's, dear listeners, the final straw. So after all the subject today is the final straw, I'm putting them down, is the final straw. I was torn between this and best before, and you're going to get it as we're talking. So the final straw, you know what it is. The straw that broke the camel's back. You let things go on and on and on till eventually something happened and you snapped. You realized you had to do something. And usually when that happens, back breaking, post snapping, you're past the tipping point. You're past the point of no return. You have to do something different. It's not just a matter of fixing something, it's really replacing it. And I'm talking today specifically about how you're helping your people, how you're coaching them, and how you're handling people who are not performing as well as they should be. We're getting near to the end of the year, and I always try and write down a bunch of themes that I've noticed throughout the year. And one thing that I did notice is that with a bunch of people across many countries, across startups of different ages, different stages, I'm seeing people who are in leadership positions and who essentially decided to wait way too long till they eventually handled a problem with people under them. And usually that took the shape of that person was underperforming for months and months and months without even getting the proper feedback. And then, because something got very terrible, because someone quit, because the CEO got mad, because you realized you had to do something, you just did something immediately. And for you, because this has been the situation for so long, you just had to do something. Usually that something is moving that person from their position, letting go of them. I've seen co-founders split up this year, a bunch of different things. And when this happens without you having given the proper feedback all along, what this ends up creating is two different areas of problems. First, you're cutting yourself too much slack. Why? Because what you end up doing is never handling issues the proper way, which is coaching and doing the tough leadership work of handling the fact that people are not going to be perfect. Instead, what you did was run away. You let things deteriorate for so long without doing anything, really. And then you took the coward's way out of saying, no, this is not working out. You got to move. Find another job, whatever. I'm cutting this. And this, again, is not leadership. This is just putting someone in place, chewing through that person till eventually they no longer are good and you're moving to a next one. You don't want to be that sort of company. And second, this is also creating this atmosphere where you will be a company that is not the sort of company people want to be in, because that person you let go or that you demote, yeah, there's a word for that, I remember. When you do that, those people will usually not stay silent. I'm not saying they're going to shame you on LinkedIn, but they will talk to their colleagues and people will ask and they will say that they never got the proper feedback. They never got the chance to do things right. They were just told out of nowhere that they were not good enough and that's it. And do you really want to be that company? The company that just throws people without giving them any real chance, without giving them the respect of getting the coaching and the harsh feedback that they deserved. I don't know about you, but I'm not into that. So I think that you should be minimizing final straw moments in your leadership role. When you get there, it means that you usually have been procrastinating for way too long doing the proper thing. And when that's the case, you really cannot blame anyone but yourself. Instead, try and do things faster. Try and do things in the right time. You know, good management is timely management, not, you know, hence hindsight. Not telling me way too late. Oh yeah, that project you screwed up 2 quarters ago. Yeah, that's why this performance review is really bad. Would have been nice to know a few months back. Maybe I would have changed something, right? No, let's be more proactive. Let's do things at the right time. And as I told you in the beginning, I was contemplating 2 titles. This one, The Final Straw, because I've got the straws here handy, and Best Before. You know, the dates we've got on milk and stuff. And sometimes we, at least here at home, get this where we find something at the back of the fridge and we're like, oh, this was Best Before like a couple of weeks ago. What are you going to do now? Maybe you're going to make a bunch of pie or something with it. And, you know, you can make do, but it sure would have been nicer to just use that good product while it was still actually good, right? And not having to bake it so you can pretend it's fine. So the same applies for you. Things should be done, you know, best before things go really bad, and you can handle it. You can make it so if you're just aware and active as a leader. I'm sure you can do that. And as always, if you need help doing it better, I'm here for you. You've got my email in the show notes. That's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. As always, check out the show notes also for a link to my newsletter where you can get a bunch of very nice things for free every week. Why not? So check it out, and I'll be here next week. Ciao.